called having an implant removed from one of her ears and another smaller metallic implant removed from the base of her neck, her skull. Amy was told by the aliens several things about how these implants functioned, and she reports that she was not happy to hear that they could be used to control the implanted abductees in any number of ways. Now, the area into which the newer implants are inserted, Amy was told, corresponds to the part of the brain known as the reticular formation, and it doesn't have anything to do with zetas, by the way. Thanks to Marianne Friedman, who's here this weekend from Arizona, and who was wonderful enough to share a lot of her research into the medical aspects of this brainstem activity. I want to just briefly refer to this, and then on Sunday morning, Marianne is going to go into a little more detail at one of the mini sessions, so I encourage you to listen to this material. The functions of the reticular formation that Marianne got me started looking at are staggering. And I'm sure some of you have been through this already. For me, it was just information I had to recorrelate with the accounts of the implant reports, especially those that Amy had relayed to me from her friendly implant-removing alien. The function of, I'll just read you a very brief statement from Nigel Calder's book, The Mind of Man, one of the earlier classics of our modern time, on brain activity and brain research. And here is a quote about this reticular formation area. If the primary job of the brain is to enable its owner to respond effectively to events, the strongest claimant for mastery is not the roof or the cerebral cortex at all, but the brainstem. The brainstem net is well placed to monitor all the nerves connecting brain and body. It knows what is going on better than any other single part of the brain. The brainstem net exerts its authority by sending out impulses which stimulate or inhibit nerve action throughout the brain and the body. It can override activity in the spinal cord. It regulates the signals from the eyes, the ears, and other sense organs, thereby providing an agency for selecting what is to be attended to from moment to moment. And it is this part of the brain that Amy was told was now the most common area for the newer alien implants to be located. If the aliens are indeed placing control implants into this area, then they would be able, as you've seen from this just very brief description of the brainstem activity, they would be able to control everything from the person's level of consciousness, to the bodily functions, to the memory and thought processes, and the assessment of all sensory input. Now, if you don't think the implications of that kind of control are overwhelming, think again. And I hope Marianne will stimulate some exciting conversations with you tomorrow morning about the possibilities of this area of the brain being the point of alien control through which abductees can be kept awake, put to sleep, put in an altered state, made to get up and do things that they would not choose to do, made to say things they would not say, made to forget things that they have said and done, etc. All sensory input being controlled by this area. Through the implant, any number of realities can be presented to the abductee that are not really there. And what one remembers is controlled through this area, so the repression of memory of these events is very easily controlled as well. I think the implications are staggering.